everyone, today I want to create some lovely illustrations with my moving doll stamp set. I had quite a few actually requests to do that because I haven't done them in a while, so I thought I'll have a nice play session. And I have been working on the watercolor release. I don't know when this video will come out, so probably by the time it comes out they're guaranteed to be sold out. But the point is, I've been working super hard for the last few weeks, and now it's like this chill out time, which I love to do something creative when I can just enjoy the flow of it. So what I had in mind is creating this fashion illustration, and it's going to be a face with some sort of floral thing, maybe in the hair, like a floral crown, I'm thinking, and then a body. So I'm gonna pose her and create a cute little black dress. So that's what I have in mind. We'll see how I get on and where it takes us. So just to show you the back of the stamp set, if you're new to this stamp set, you can create lovely illustrations and pose the girl you know, how you like, really. So I'm going to use my own stamp set here, which I already used many times. I'll just keep this one here. Okay, so the way I like to do things is, firstly, as you can see, this is the head and here is the neck. So roughly this will be the length of the body. And so you can, before you start, you can take your sketchbook and just kind of move things around and see. So if you wanted her to be in the middle, you can roughly start stamping the head around here. If you wanted to give yourself more space for the head, because you know I'm going to create some illustration, then I'm going to move her slightly more down and then still have space for the feet, because the feet will go down here. So that's how I'm going to judge it. So roughly around here is where I want her to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift the stamp out. By the way, I'm having a spring sale until end of May, and you could have a little shopping spree. So what I'm going to do is hold it like that and then move this out of the way and stamp the head. So that's that. The next piece is going to be the neck. So the neck is under the lips. You can stamp it either way. There is no need in sort of having it just a certain way. You can tilt it upside down, you can, you can play with it. In fact, if you wanted a longer neck, you could go for one of these pieces, which are supposed to be for the arms, but you can just, exchange them and play around and do your own thing, really. So now we're going to, well, let's finish with the face before we start doing anything else. So lips go at the bottom of the face according to how I like to illustrate face illustrations. You do you. And then we have these individual eyes. And they again can be set wherever you like. I like them to be quite far apart. And quite low in the face, about halfway in the face. Oh, that's a bit, I have a skewed view from where I am, and so that is now quite low. So I'll try to correct it about there, and it will be fine once we go with watercolor and all of that jazz. And that's another reason why using a nude ink is quite helpful, because if you do make a little mistake, you can easily come out of it. Next part of the body will be the torso, then the pelvis and the legs. I'm thinking about the shape of the dress that I want to illustrate, and therefore the pose kind of goes with that. So I want a nice little black dress, and I will probably do one straight leg. So let's see, I'll go with one straight leg. And actually I'll keep that on because I'll need it again, and then I'll go for a long lower part of the leg, and that will go nice and straight. And then with this one I'm going to just stamp it slightly coming out, and then this bit will kind of flick out that way. All right, and then the feet are right at the bottom of the stamp set, and we'll need 2 of them. So this one goes here, and this one goes there. There we go. They're kind of supposed to be like little ballerina ballet shoes, or what are they called? And then when it comes to arms, you have a whole range of pieces you can use from the middle right here. So let me pick, I'm going to go for long lower arm as well, so I'm picking these 2. And the way I work with this, because whenever you need to double stamp something, instead of taking it off and putting it back in again, I just keep them on one stamp set. So here she's going to hold her hands. One is going to go down and the other one is going to hold the hip. Oh, it's not quite the hip. It's a long arm, so the hip, it goes past the hip. So round about there. And then we have the arms close, or the hands close to the feet right here. So I'll put this one back. And here we go, one arm and another arm. So this one will be like that, and this one will hang straight again. So that's roughly the pose, nice and quick and simple. Now is the time to think about the outfit that you want to draw. So for me it's going to be a black dress, which I'm going to line out now, and use the guidelines of the stamp, but oh my god, I need a maintenance break. Yikes. Okay, so excuse my hands, but it's permanent ink, and so it doesn't come off that easy once you get it on your skin. Anyway, everything is linked down below if you're interested. This is the platinum carbon ink pen with the platinum black ink, which is, like I said, is great for watercolor illustrations. Okay, now think about your outfit, and obviously the lines you're putting here. If you're not confident enough, if you're a bit nervous, then maybe use a pencil instead. I'm just going to map out a little dress here. Like so. This is the time to be creative. And then I'll use watercolors today, and I'll use some pencils for coloring things in. Okay, so in terms of the face, let's give her a cute little fringe and some buns, hair buns like that. Then you can start lining out on the contour of your stamp set as well. Don't do it beforehand, because then you'll have the lines cross over. So let's just carry on. So here, remember the eyes, we messed them up a little bit. So this is now the time to correct things. So there you go. Okay, and then the arms. So again, just line out the areas that you find you want to highlight. I'm going to add a third finger here just to pose her hands a little bit like that somehow. And then we are also going to now work on the legs, and what I'm doing here, I'm going to just, you know, instead of I'll show you close up what I mean here. 1 second. I find this so therapeutic. So here we go. So what I've done is I just lined it out, and I didn't finish the line as the stamp finishes, but I connected to make it a leg. And you can, you know, play around with the lines. You can extend it up a bit more, so you can make the knee wider, etc. So it really is just a helping point. You can make them bigger by going slightly more out of the line, etc. So, but this is the basis of it, and then I'm going to start by using some colors, which will help to bring it together a little bit more as well. And I think in terms of her hair, I think I'll just leave it like that. Maybe just sketch a little something here. and then her neck. Just going to give her a little choker. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pick colors and see where this gets us. So I'm thinking, well, I was going to give her actually a black dress, but I'm thinking now more of indigo. And since I'm going to use indigo, a complementary color would be like a ginger. So I'm thinking of Ginger Rogers type of vibes. And let's start with the indigo. Because it's watercolor, you can be quite creative. And so, for instance, what you could do is for the ruffles, you could just clean your brush and then just run the edge of it like that. And that will create nice kind of feathery look. If the watercolor has already dried up here, just introduce some fresh watercolor and make it bleed into here like so. When you're doing watercolor illustrations, think about all of the things you learn about watercolor. So same thing here, it's now dried up, you see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to refresh this watercolor by building it up. And as it's still wet, immediately I'm going to go with a wet brush, but a clean one, just to create a sort of like winged out look. You can always build it up a little bit more. Just like that. So that's it. For her hair, I've got some sort of a quinacridone gold color here. I'm just going to clean it up. If you've seen me use this palette for a while, I just want to use this color now, and I think it's so gorgeous. It's gonna create some beautiful hair straight out of the tube as it was. Not, you know, you don't need to mix anything else, but you could for some extra interest. I like to leave a little white areas so that I don't block out like completely solid areas of color. So just little highlights like that. The brush I'm using is the Neptune Princeton. Really love this range. They're very soft and the size is good for this illustration. So now I can glaze a little bit while it's still wet, so we're not going to have, we're going to have a softer edge to it. I'm just building up the color a little bit more. And let's see. So, is this the right color? Yeah. Okay, so with this color, which is the Indian red, what I'm thinking of doing is mixing it with the indigo and creating this kind of like an inky color. And that color I'm thinking of just using here in her hair, and hopefully it will stay put and not move too much because the color around there is still a little bit wet.